Welcome to another edition of the Bison Break Podcast. I'm your host, Rob Black Jr. And today we have an exciting show today with another inductee into the 2024 Howard University Hall of Fame. This gentleman was a tremendous force within the football team within the early 90s. So help me welcome today Rupert Grant. Hey, Rupert, how you doing? Welcome to the Bison Break Podcast.
Thanks a lot. Nice to see you.
Yeah. Yeah, I am well, man. It was a pleasure to absolutely meet you at the Hall of Fame a couple of weeks ago. It was definitely a great, momentous occasion, and I'm glad that you agreed to jump onto the podcast today. But just to kind of level set, to kind of, just start from the beginning, tell me about your upbringing. Tell me, how did you grow up and where did you grow up at? And, and the things that you, what kind of helped inspired you to play football?
Well, it's crazy. I was born in Silver Spring, Maryland, at Holy Cross Hospital. But, But see, I left there, and my wife still kills me about that too, by the way. But I left there and went to Columbia Road. Okay. And when I started living down there, so I've been in D.C. since birth. Okay. I love everything about D.C. And I'm uptown. We moved from there when I had my sister. She came 4 years after me, and we moved further uptown. My dad started to really thrive at his job, and my mom, they were lifers at their job. Right. I guess it was that hunger, them coming from Jamaica. Okay. They wanted to make a way.
You had Caribbean roots.
Oh, yes.
That explains a lot about your football career.
I'll tell you what, I wouldn't have it no other way.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So what was it like growing up in D.C.? Because this is about late 70s going into the 80s. D.C. has changed a lot. Right. For what we see now, as opposed to what it looks like back in the 70s and the 80s. What was that like for you growing up and your parents that, hard workers and trying to get you through school and all that type of good stuff?
Well, it was a lot of discipline in our home. We had to. My dad was a real cool cat, but he was about his business, And my mom, she was very loving, or is very loving, but she was the one who kind of comforted us, but she was on her business as well. Yeah. Could not get away with anything between my parents, and they fed off each other, Right. So it was cool because they were Jamaican and they came over here. My first probably 7-8 years, I didn't even speak really the way I'm speaking now. I sounded as if I were Jamaican as well. That's all I know. That opportunity, and then it would come out as well. But my whole thing was the hard work that they displayed every day, and they both found a way to make it so that we can have a better place when we moved uptown. And then I got an opportunity to do some other things. It was a cool experience growing up here in DC. I learned so much that took me throughout my life.
Yeah. Well, DC has such a strong, vibrant culture. If you are not from DC, they are quick to let you know you are not from DC.
Oh yeah. We can spot it. We can spot it right now.
Early, yes.
Right. They call me City Place, man. So I don't have no problem with them. But like I said, I'm really from DC. So my guys, especially when I went to high school, the football team, that was one of the best experiences I've ever had, and I think it helped mold me. Outside of course, my father's upbringing, my mother's upbringing.
Yeah, and that you went to Coolidge, right?
Yeah, I went to Coolidge High School, and it's like I said, it's so funny. One of my partners right now, he jokes about how I came a long way. My first day coming on the football field, I came out and all my pads were off, and they were flapping when I run, and I had my shoulder pads on my body, and I had a gentleman I call him a gentleman now, but he's my big brother. I call him that. Big Reese, he came through. He said, "Hey, come on, man, let's get back in here." And he got me dressed. Right. So it was like, from that day one, I realized that it's like that you have to do everything as a team just to go forward. And you can use that, in every aspect of life, of course.
Yeah. And what, your time at Coolidge, what was significant about, that those years at Coolidge, as you were really developing, you coming into your own, really learning how to play the sport, and starting to excel. What does that look like? Tell me about what was that like, even just going to practice, coming to practice, having to deal with all the things that were going on, especially because this would be around the 80s. Is that correct?
Yeah, it was 89, 90.
Okay.
No, 89.
And the reason why I'm bringing this up is so significant because, during that period, the crack epidemic was huge all across the country. Right. But in DC, that's when we had the Rayful Edmonds era and things along that line. Right. And there was a lot of distractions that were happening in, Washington, DC specifically. What was that like for you? Because you're trying to play football, but you have all these different, and especially uptown, there's a lot of outside influences. What was that? What was your mentality like? What was going on in your head?
Well, the weirdest thing is, like you said, everybody was able to get tennis shoes and get different sweatsuits. Yeah. And they had a way of doing that. And I was curious, I would say. But none of my friends would let me do anything. And here's the funny part about it. Right. I wanted to do it, but I wasn't afraid of the police. I was afraid of my dad. I didn't want to embarrass him. Yeah. It was like, it was, he always told me, no matter what, don't embarrass my name. So it wasn't about getting caught by the police. It was about what was I going to say to my dad when I got home from getting caught from the police. So, he was a big influence on me and everything I did. He transitioned, 10 years ago now. Oh man, sorry. Yeah. So it was. That's why I said some of the best experiences you wish you could have different stages of your life. Because it'll make you enjoy it with having the people that you want to have around you. Enjoy that with you. So, it's his demeanor. He was very, like I said, he was very laid back, really cool. All he loved to do was play dominoes every Monday since 1970. Every Monday, I don't care where he is on earth, he's gonna play dominoes.
Yeah, could you beat him?
I could now.
We'll leave it like that,
right? Right. But yeah. So just being with my family, that was our main thing. Like I said, that was one of the times that we got a chance to gather. Every Monday, we always knew that we can congregate. We're gonna play dominoes. Right. To the wee hours in the morning, no matter who had to work Tuesday or what were you doing Tuesday. I came from school, came home, had homework, did my homework, then went to go play dominoes and come back on Tuesday morning. So, it was just a ritual that we had.
Yeah. I mean, those familiar units is important because you think about how we're so, growing up, we didn't have an abundance of TVs in our home and all these different screens. Like you kind of consolidated and you were forced to be with your family.
Right.
Like, Thursdays you watching the Cosby Show.
Yes,
everybody's watching the Cosby Show together. You're not going in a separate room. Right. But those family units, those family familiar units, that time is so impactful and important. And it transcends as you even go into different aspects of your life. Right. Now, when you were at Coolidge, you were excelling, you looking at different opportunities, considering going to college. What made you choose Howard University as opposed to any other opportunities that were out there? I'll
tell you what, it was a crazy time during my senior year. I was so, I guess, caught up in being in the schools that you see on TV on Saturdays. And I was wondering how I was going to be able to do that. Craziest part of it was it happened in practice. We had a drill where, of course, it's Oklahoma, and you got to hit the guy. It's a one-on-one drill where you got to hit the guy. Everybody knows it's football 101.
Right.
But after doing that, after I guess a round of doing that, we had a break where we got water.
Okay.
And I don't know if my DB coach knew what he was doing or he just felt it was on his heart. But he told one of my best friends, look, tell Root to go ahead and start studying, make sure he get good in his books because he'll never be able to play football at the next level. And I mean, I threw the water bottle down. One boy told me, he's a prominent agent right now too. But I throw the water bottle down, and from that point on, anybody who wanted it can get it.
They was getting that work.
Right. So it was funny. That molded me, I swear. That one practice molded me to have the confidence that I would need to succeed. And then Howard actually came, and they were calling me a couple of times, and they would call me like 6 o'clock in the morning. But again, I was believing that I could possibly go to one of the predominantly white schools. Got recruited by Maryland. They told me that they needed 2 running backs from the area. They said that I was going to be one of them.
Wow.
So Tuesday morning, I go get the paper, and I'm not one of the 2 backs that they were talking about. At that time, as I'm coming home with that paper, Coach Tadamy, I'll never forget, Coach Tadamy, the recruiting coach at Howard, called me. It was like 6:30 in the morning. And he said, Roop, I've been saying I said, don't even say anything else. I'll be down there Friday for my visit. And when I came down there, I've never felt the way I felt as far as the embracing.
Right.
And seeing the culture, seeing how Black colleges were different than some of our different colleges. I couldn't wait to sign. I couldn't wait to sign and the funny part, it's a joke, when Coach Wilson, and we call him Pops, but Lou Jones, they came over to come sign me. They came to my house, and I couldn't believe I was signing. And when I did, I couldn't sign by myself. I was 17, so my dad had to sign with me. And when I signed the contract stating I was gonna get the scholarship, I started running around the house saying, "Oh, I'm going to Howard. I got a scholarship." Not still messing with me about that. I was 17 years old.
Hey, you gotta let that energy go, man.
Right.
Hey, and what would you do as a 17-year-old, man? You gonna express that feeling the way you feel with all that energy,
right?
And the thing about it though too is like, I'm gonna ask you this question. So, I mean, you're living in DC pretty much almost all your life.
Right.
How many times did you actually go to Howard University, and you're living uptown, so you're not far away, just a couple of blocks away.
Right.
How many times have you actually went to maybe see Howard play or actually venture on their campus, even though you're literally probably just blocks away?
Not even once.
Wow.
Not even once. I knew about it because I had some cousins who actually lived maybe around the corner from Howard. So I heard that it was Howard University, but I never really thought about it as a place that I would attend. And then like it wasn't until I got to high school we started to explore different colleges and places that we can go. And then I started to realize that these schools, different HBCUs, what they had to offer. I wanted to be on TV on Saturdays. And the schools that were on TV on Saturdays weren't the HBCUs. So I didn't initially think that this could be a possibility. And then when it was almost a reality, the crazy part about it, let me tell you this. my last game, my senior year in high school, Howard actually came to see one of my teammates. And he was a big guy, 6'6", like 320, light on his feet. Good, I mean, a good looking athlete.
Right.
And somewhat, I kind of got off on that game. I did my thing that game. And because of that game, Coach Wilson, he tells a story to me that he had the tape to see the gentleman I was telling you about.
Wow.
He put it to the side, watched all the tape during the recruiting process. Then he pulled the tape back out, watched it again, and didn't see anything. So when he watched it the third time, someone else walked into the room and said, "Oh, you like that running back?" And he was like, No. I'm looking at the lineman. He said, No. You need to be looking at that running back. That's how we got to Howard. It was off a chance, really. I mean, I did what I could, but the fact that he gave me an opportunity, I'm forever grateful to Steve Wilson.
Rupert, just two things that jump out on the story that really I'm seeing a common thread with a lot of people. One, how many people that are local, indigenous to the DMV area, really never went to Howard prior to going to attending Howard full time. Right. Like living literally within the area, but never really went and embraced any of the cultures or went to any of the games. Secondly, a lot of people that I've talked to stated that it seems like it was like Howard. It was by chance that they got to Howard. Like they were someone else was being recruited, right? But because of that game, that situation, that time, it said, "This is not for him. This is for you." Right. And I'm here. I do hear this common thread. Pretty. I'm hearing it a lot. That's good. Yeah. Absolutely.
I think it's. I think in my wildest dreams, I didn't think it was going to happen this way. You know what I mean? So what I wanted to do was impress my dad, impress my mom. Right. I have a little sister, and at the time she was always my little sister, and I'd always kid her about that. But I always wanted to make her proud of me. I always wanted to make sure that whenever they walked out, man, Root did this, Root did that. Right. In a positive manner. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't looking for no trouble. I'm not looking for trouble. Absolutely. And even more so now, of course, that I'm a little more mature. Yeah. I'm really about peace and seeing how whatever bridge was burnt, how we can build that back. So it's easier to be that way than to have that grudge or to feel.
It's a lot of weight to carry.
You know what I mean? And I don't want any of that on me. I love my wife. I love my children. We all have our ups and downs with our own relationships. But in that, I just want to be cool. That's it. Yeah.
Now let's transition a little bit because now we're going. You're at Howard University. Okay. And time has progressed on a little bit, and then we get to you came in 91. Now we're getting to the point. 1993 starts to creep up just a little bit. Tell me about 1993 because something happened in 1993. I don't know. It was in the water at Howard. DC tap water or something. It was doing something.
You remember that?
The water. I don't know. Maybe it was the water or the other water. Right. Really? Tell me about that season.
I tell you what. That season started in 1992. Okay. And I'm gonna tell you why. Okay. We had the likes of, a Jay Walker, who came in and was brash and I mean really thought he was all of it. We didn't accept it initially. We were like, oh, hold up, But his play and his determination to show that he can be the leader of his team was impressive.
Different type
we all started to follow that. Nice. We started to progress. Everybody started to get better in every position because he raised the level of competition in practice. Yes. And that's what it was about us. Like I said, it started in practice. When we my freshman year, we were 2-9, and we used to run around the track and say, we 2-9, some sorry Emma effers. We used to sing it about ourselves. But next year, we started to say, well, we're not going to be like that this year.
Right. Because words have power.
Yeah. And we started to believe it. We started to work out because of that. I mean, with that mentality, like I said, Jay came in and played well, and everybody wanted to do better because of the way that the game was going as far as how we started to move. Our defense was lights out. So then 93 does come.
Okay, 93.
And at this time, I wasn't even sure I was the guy that they wanted to be like one of their lead backs. I was tussling. They had brought in another gentleman who really good back. He's also in the Hall of Fame, but he's in for another sport. But they were pushing that he was going to be the guy who takes over for Howard University. I don't know what it was. I just felt like I had to do something different, and I started to work out. I got I got the key to the weight room, so I can go when I wanted to. I also have my partner in crime, and I'm gonna bring him up a lot. I have a gentleman by the name of Jose White. He's one who's gonna be in the Hall of Fame as well.
Okay.
One of the greatest players that came through Howard University. But he was my roommate, and we discussed that, look, if we want to get better, we have to get better.
Okay.
The two of us. And we felt like that, as leaders, or that was the way we were going to be the leaders of the team, by the way we played, by the way we carried ourselves. And we hoped that everybody followed, and in a lot of senses they did. But like I said, I wanted to buckle down and see what I could do. I had a coach by the name of Ron Springs, and he said to me, when he pulled me to the side, he said, if you give me 4 years of dedication, I can get you to the NFL. And I was like, what? Because when I was little, I told my dad, I'm gonna go to NFL, Dad. And this man, like he didn't know me from anywhere, but he said that to me the first time I met him. He said,
did you start seeing it in your mind of you actually starting to play at that time? So, that vision to say, hey, I can be wearing this jersey. I can be with the best of the best. Absolutely.
And Ron Springs, he played for the Dallas Cowboys, so he was a legitimate professional NFL football player. He knew what he was talking about. He knew how to get there. He did a lot of things to make us better, and and a lot of times it wasn't even physical. He taught us, and he taught me a mental game. I started to get confidence that I was almost unstoppable. It's how I felt, and because of that, I think that play a lot of times translated, not only in like I said, not only for me, but throughout my team. And that's how we walked out every day. Our biggest games every week in 1993 was Thursdays when we played each other. We used to, oh my God, we used to go at it. Our offense, our defense, we used to go at it in every drill. So when Saturday came, they were in trouble. We already played our game. We about to, we just having fun. It's a party.
Yeah. Well, and that season it was remarkable because you went undefeated that season.
Absolutely.
Tell me about, because I mean, even though you went undefeated, I'm sure you had some bouts that was like, I remember that game, or this was something that was remarkable or significant in my tenure there. Tell me about one of the most memorable games that you experienced while you was during that season.
Well, I have two. One, I have a couple that year, really. One of the biggest highlights though was Coach Wilson he played at Howard University, he coached at Howard University, and he never beat North Carolina A&T.
Wow.
We went down there, and We beat that ass. We had to, but the thing about it was, it was a nail biter the entire way. We would go up, they would come back, they would go up. Then we would come back, we would go up. I mean, it was nip and tuck the entire game, and then we ended up winning that game. But the one that I loved was we played in St. Louis. It was a Circuit City Classic. We played against Alcorn State.
Okay.
And in that game, here we have Jay Skywalker against Steve Air McNair.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, that was the billboard.
Yeah.
It was a great matchup. They both showed up, but your boy got the MVP.
Yeah.
I had to work out too. I wanted to see if I could do something to be special too. They talk about them like they special. I got to do something to be special.
Yeah, well, I mean, Alcorn State, because I think Steve McNair during that tenure, he was busting tail.
Yes, sir.
And so there was a lot of spotlight on him.
Right.
But then if we look at some of your numbers, I mean, even that season, 20 rushing TDs, 4 TD receptions. But then that game, how many TDs did you have that game?
I only had one that game. I only had one. I had like 160 yards though. It was a big game for me. And my running mate Phil Simpson, he actually was going to have the big game initially. I thought he was running the ball very well, and they had another big defensive end that was I think he went to the pros too, but he was really good. And we just decided we was gonna block him and see what the rest of them could do for us.
So you was out laying the wood on him.
We all were, especially my linemen. Like I said, I had Big Reese and Charles Beers that I had from high school. They were one of the reasons why I also came to Howard. I came.
They committed before you did.
You're right. No, they were already there a year before me.
The year before? Oh wow.
Yeah,
okay.
They were there a year before me. I came up to homecoming after that was their freshman year. Okay. I came up to homecoming. That was my senior year, and I was like, well, I love it up here. Like, who was the fullback up here? I wanted to see, if I had a chance to do something up there. That was my mentality.
Yeah.
Right.
Wow. I know. You played. You had a remarkable season at Howard, and then there was a point where it was time. You getting toward the end of your career there, and then you end up, being able to go play professional football, and you had a career within the NFL as well as the AFL, which is the Arena Football League, correct?
Right.
Yeah. Explain that to me. Explain that journey going NFL and playing professional football overall. What was that like? I mean, many people don't get a chance to go and play professional football, and you're playing at the highest level.
Right. It was definitely a challenge. It was one of the highlights of my life. I like I said, I set out to do that when I was 6 years old. My dad used to love the Redskins and Washington Commanders now, but the Washington football team at the time. And he, I remember they were playing the Cowboys, and I mean, he was so into the game, and I was like, if something like this can make him feel like this, I want to play this game, and I want to make him feel as proud about his team as I did. So crazy full circle. I go to the New England Patriots, and we played the Washington Redskins at the time. And he had a Washington emblem on his pendant on his chain, but he had my jersey on. So it was like it was funny to me, but he loved it. He loved his Washington teams, all of them, the Caps.
Maybe how did you feel? That your dad, your dad's wearing your jersey though.
Right.
Just think about that. Right. Just that moment. Your dad is, because you talked a lot about the impact of your father on your life, and you can hear it and see it. The way you smile and the way you just pop up on it. And that moment, you know, like you walked on the field and you knowing this gentleman, this guy that's raised you, the reason why inspired you to play football, the reason why you didn't make certain choices in life, the person that you wanted to make proud of than anybody else, what did that feel like knowing he, you know, his last name is on the back of your jersey, on the jersey.
Right.
You know what I mean? What did that feel like?
Yeah, that's perspective. I like that. That summed it up. I mean, the feeling though is I couldn't explain it.
Right.
This I felt like, and you know, maybe sometimes I kind of even wonder at times. Mm-hmm. I felt like I made it. I felt like I did what I said I was going to do. And I don't know if, you know, I did get a chance to play some years, but I felt like I had a lot more to offer as far as football was concerned in the professional level. I didn't, you know, didn't get the opportunity. Coaches feel like that, and that's what we'll do. So then when I went to the Patriots, I learned a lot of lessons there about growing up quickly, you know. Coach Parcells, Bill Parcells was my coach, and hey, he did not play the radio. You know, he when he said something, it was exactly what he said it was. I remember one time, and this is a quick one, and I hope this is not too vulgar, but we had to take a drug test, and the drug tests were going to happen before 2 days. So you had to take your urine test and then go to practice. Well, I woke up and I didn't wait. So now I have to go and wait for myself to have to go back to the bathroom. Coach Parcells said, I got out there 2 minutes late, and he pointed to his watch. He said, you owe me $200 for them 2 minutes. I'm like, oh my God.
Woo. Like a shot of Hennessy to chest.
I said, 2 minutes? I'd never be late for anything. I wasn't late for anything else as long as I was in my career. So, like I said, he taught us how to like take this as a job, but still have fun with it. You know what I mean? But it is a business. It is a business. That's the first thing you need to understand once you step foot on that campus. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Wow. So, and then when I left from there, I got hurt, which made me. I tried to, try my hand at different teams and see if I can get in with them because I actually made the Patriots as a free agent. Mm-hmm. So when I went to try to be a free agent at other teams, it didn't work out. Mm-hmm. So I wanted to play. This is the craziest thing. My wife, I had just worked out for Kansas City at the time. Mm-hmm. And my wife I was excited because I thought that was going to be an opportunity.
And that's Marty Schottenheimer.
Yeah, I had, what was his name? What's the hell?
Or was that Cunningham?
No, it was Schottenheimer.
Schottenheimer, okay.
So, I got a call that Friday night. This happened on Tuesday. Mm-hmm. I got a call that Friday. Now, the reason why I was even getting opportunities because they were actually looking at one of my understudies or one of my younger guys who was a couple years behind me, Ted White. He was an awesome quarterback. Okay. So they were looking at him, and he was just throwing, and I was catching. So that's what I thought I had an opportunity. But it didn't work out. And that Friday, I got a call, and there was a gentleman saying that, so, Rupert, you want to play football? And I was like, absolutely, let's go. I'm thinking, I'm ready to sign. Yep. He said, I coach for the Arena Football League. I was like, what? Who was that? And I said, I would never play that, is what I said prior. I saw games on TV.
Because they used to show it on ESPN.
Right.
That was before ESPN had all the, like when growing up back in the 90s, ESPN did not have sports. That's when you would watch cow trucking and motorcycle biking. And you did not have National Football League. You didn't have the NBA. Right. I don't even know if you had baseball back then. They just had all the B and C type of sports. Right. But they didn't have the main sports. But they did have Arena League football because I used to watch it at times because NFL wasn't on. So
and that's what I'm saying. I used to watch it and be like, man, there's no way I will play that. They got to be crazy to do it. Yeah. And I got an opportunity, like I said, Coach Pat Spaduto gave me an opportunity with the Nashville Cats. I mean, I could never be more thankful. Yeah. I mean, I had a ball. Yeah. I had a ball. You get the chance to play football. Mm-hmm. You're playing on a professional level. Mm-hmm. You're getting paid, of course, because that's what makes it professional. Mm-hmm. So I'm able to provide for my family, and I still had that, I can still do this. Mm-hmm. I was using that at the time. I thought I would use that to, kind of catapult back into the NFL.
Right.
That opportunity didn't happen. Right. But the time I was there, I was able to, make a name for myself in the Arena Football League.
Yep.
So, everything happens for a reason. And I think that you just got to accept those blessings. A lot of times you don't even know that it is a blessing until you look back at it. You know what I mean? So, I'm grateful for everything that I did. My whole journey was awesome. The only thing I wish that could happen was two things. I wish my children were the age they are now to see me so they could believe that daddy was cold. But
these numbers mean more than just that. The work that happened behind all these numbers. I did some work.
Right. I told you I was doing something now, but I wish they could have just enjoyed a lot of the things that I enjoyed, especially, and one of the biggest things I missed was the camaraderie with the boys,
Yeah. You hear that a lot.
Yeah.
And it's not just even football, but you hear that from sports in general.
Right.
And just kind of thinking about it, I guess that segues into the next point. The thing about all the things that you've accomplished and with your team members, you got, because it's a collective. It's not just you, but there's a lot. The guys up front are blocking for you.
Absolutely.
Make sure that you're able to run and get those TDs. Defense is doing their part to stop them from scoring, so you can get in better field position. So it's all circular. It's all is interdependent of one another. But you had something remarkable that just recently happened just a couple of weeks ago. We held the 2024 induction ceremony and banquet for the Hall of Fame for the athletics program, and you was inducted into it. Explain what was that like for you?
Oh man. I believe, without trying to be conceited, I thought I should have been in a long time ago. But you know what? It wasn't supposed to happen then.
Yeah.
Now, the bittersweetness of that call that I got from Mr. Ed Hill, the sports director here at Howard, has been there for years. I couldn't even, it's countless years at this point. I saw his beard is all gray now and everything. But I got that call, I believe it was a Sunday, as a matter of fact. And it was a 202 number. I answered the phone a lot because, as I stated earlier, my dad's no longer here, so my mom could be calling from anywhere. And I just want to make sure she's okay. So I answered the phone. It's Ed Hill. And he was like, Rupert, how you doing? I said, I'm fine. And he was like, I want to give you the news that you were inducted in. I mean, the chills that went through my body, you know what I mean? Yeah. The pride, it was like a thunderbolt of pride that I felt just like went through me, you know what I mean? And then the next feeling was, damn, my dad ain't here to see this.
Oh, he here.
That's what I was going to say. That's what I was going to say. You got me. You beat me to it. So it was an amazing accomplishment for me. I'm proud of not only myself, but my teammates, because I could never do any of these things without them. And I don't mean just my Howard teammates. Yeah. As I stated earlier, I would be nothing without my teammates from Coolidge High School. They helped raise me. They helped make me a man before I got to Howard. I was already ready for college football once I left Coolidge. So when I came in as a freshman, I knew I could. I wanted to see if I could compete, but I knew I could compete. You know what I mean? So my confidence level was never going to be shattered because of the upbringing I had from Coolidge High School. So those are my brothers, and they know it. And too many to name all at once. I don't want to leave anyone out.
Yep.
But then those guys, like I said, even on my recruit trip, my whole entire Coolidge football team came with me to Howard for a recruit trip. Now it's down the street, but we loaded up in one van. We all came out to the party.
The whole DC's here.
All of us came down there. You got all of us, you know. So that's how I do everything. If I couldn't do anything without them, and I don't want to do anything without them. You know, if I got opportunity, if I'm eating, I want us to all eat.
Absolutely.
They sure made it so I could eat. You know, so it's only reciprocal. It's only right.
Absolutely.
So I really loved the opportunity to have people nominate me, let alone vote for me. And I want to thank the Bison Express. I want to thank all my teammates at Howard University that I had the opportunity to play with, those that went in as colleagues that were also Hall of Famers. I wish them all the best. Congratulations. I don't know how it feels or it would have felt if it was just us. I just wish, like I said, if I could just pass that trophy over to my dad, I think that would have been the only thing that could have topped that night. That could have been the only thing that would have topped that night. If I'd have just said, Dad, look what I have. And he was able to look back at me. I know how he would look. I got to know his expressions. I know his mannerisms. I know how he would have accepted it. Right. I just felt like that pride. I hope that my family felt it, and I believe they did. But I want my guys to feel it too. I appreciate all of them for all that they did for me.
Yeah. And you mentioned the Bison Express. You know, one of the things about the Bison Express is that, you know, we are a supplemental arm for Howard University athletics, helping provide resources and things such as, you know, meal plans. It could be uniforms or sending people on trips or anything along that lines. And, you know, we really are passionate about our student athletes. And, you know, and even recognizing those that are current or previously student athletes, you know. But one of the things I want you to talk about the importance of Bison Express and the ability to be able to give back to Howard University and the athletics program.
Well, I didn't realize, and that's really is on me. I didn't realize how important Bison Express was until a couple of years ago. I had a gentleman that I told you about earlier, Kenny Reese. He was a part of this, at least he was affiliated with Bison Express and was letting me know a lot of the things that they were doing. And I caught wind of it. I still didn't research it as much as I should have. But to see that they are the ones who have afforded me an opportunity to do something that, like I said, in my wildest dreams, I wouldn't believe would have happened. I can't wait to be a major part of this community and see what I could do to help make another young guy who's coming up, see if his dream can come true.
Absolutely.
So I think that'd be cool.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I love that, because one of the things I'm really passionate about is really, providing resources, whether it's thought leadership or, giving information on experience or, pointing people in the right direction, younger people so they can have ability to run faster and leapfrog over some of the things that I did wrong. Right. Particularly within our community, we really need to do it even more so now than ever because there's so much misinformation out there.
Absolutely.
And kids are, and I'm sure with your kids, you're seeing it bombarded with so much information that it's almost overwhelming. That and the importance of us as men, as parents, to be able to provide that structural information to say, hey, you could go that route, but you could consider this as a choice too. And a lot of times people don't realize what choices are.
Mm-hmm.
You know, what information would you give to someone that's considering to play football at Howard University? Why should that person consider Howard University?
Well, first come to Howard because I believe they'll give you all the tools that you'll need in order to grow as a man. And that can be academic, that can be social, it could be the just the environment of the District of Columbia. I think that a lot of our city doesn't get the just due. They just believe it. It's either the murder capital or just the capital.
Yeah. Just
right. So there's a whole different culture. It's a world inside of a world at Howard University. You see some of the most beautiful women that you've ever seen. You see some of the most beautiful men that you've ever seen. You know, it's beautiful people there, but they have beautiful spirits. And I think their spirit, you can see it in all of that, especially in the athletics. See how it propels everyone to move as one. And I think that a lot of the experiences that I've had, I would never forget and never regret, and wish I could do it again. We all right. But if you have opportunity to come to Howard, though, I think the name of prestige that I think and the weight that it carries will take you a long way in today's society. You know, we have to find a way to get our thing, and we are getting a lot more exposure to the HBCU.
Absolutely.
Right now. And if you come to the Mecca, imagine what they can do for you.
There you go. Talking good, looking good.
Yeah, we're gonna get this right, Rob. We're gonna get this right.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Well, just want to close it off. You know, you got some, you have some couple of things going on now outside of, you were recently inducted, but there's some other business opportunities and things that you have going on. Right. Explain what that is and, and how people can follow what you got going on too.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm the excitement, but the brains and the beauty behind the business venture that I have is my wife of, 25 years. Miss Cassandra Grant. She is the president and CEO of SNS Events. Okay. And what we do is we have a lot of networking. That's all we're really about. Okay. I love to be around people. She loves the fact that I love to be around people. And I love her for that. Let me be me. Yeah. In that, we still want to have our community be able to meet others in our community. Yes. And network. See how we can build. Absolutely. As a community. You know what I mean? So that's the main thing that we do. That's our mission statement, if you will. We want to make sure that we build in the community and we do it together. So we like to do trips. We do happy hours. We have workshops. We have different events that we try to put on, and we're going to expand. But for right now, what we've been doing, a lot of traveling. We're traveling the world, everywhere that you like to go. And we take suggestions because again, we want others to make the trip. We're going to make the trip happen, but we want you guys to make the trip. So if you visit snsevents.org, okay. Like I said, you'll see Cassandra Grant. She's the CEO. I'm the president, and we have Uncle Charlie. That's my main man, Kevin. He's the marketer. He's the marketing. Okay. Good stuff. He makes sure everything happens. So it's a good business. Hope everybody get an opportunity to come out, check us out, And we just had an event last week. We'll have another one coming soon. We'll have one every month.
Okay. I'm going to show up.
All right, there you go.
Yeah, I'm going to show up. I'll pull up.
Now we talking. And bring a friend with you. Don't come alone.
Hey, I got you.
All right, my man.
Well, Rupert, man, I definitely appreciate you jumping on the Bison Break podcast, walking us through your journey and allowing us to see what the things you have going on. Definitely appreciate your time today, and, best wishes with everything else that you have going on.
I do appreciate it, man. I wish you all the best. I can see you blowing up, but I appreciate you.
Absolutely. All right, brother. Take care, man.
All right. Thanks for everything.
All right. Thank you for watching the Bison Break podcast. We want to thank you for tuning in. There's a lot of other things you could possibly have been doing, but you decided to give us your time and your attention. So we are definitely appreciative of that. Also, we want to thank our guest, Rupert Grant, for joining in today and just sharing this enlightenment of his story of how he came into football, the importance of what Howard University meant to him and the things he accomplished there, and things he was able to do within the pros. Please continue to follow us at Bison Express, or you can follow us on our website at bisonexpress.org. I'm your host, Rob Black Jr., and I see you on the other side of your goal.